Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The hour for convening has already passed. I'm late. The hour for convening is here. Good afternoon. Members, please take your seats. Members will please take your seats. Maybe we shouldn't come in the afternoon anymore. Y'all are much more receptive in the morning. Members will please take your seats, cease conversation, and we'll get this show on the road. We will dispense with a roll call vote this morning, or this afternoon, and this morning. Now, I want you to listen up just for a second. You need to hear what I'm going to tell you. Before we move into our chaplain of the day, I just want to thank y'all for your work last night. Feel like y'all been in my mind and imprinted all night long. Hadn't been that long since we've seen each other. But I want to tell you, I want to let y'all know this. That I've received several compliments, numbers of compliments, on about my work last night. And that's a joke, because it was our work last night, y'all. I'm most appreciative. We handled some tough issues. We agreed a lot last night, and we disagreed some last night. But you did it respectfully of each other. And together, I believe this house is in a really good place. We'll continue to disagree sometimes, Mr. Leader. Members, we'll continue to disagree sometimes, but we're going to work in that spirit of trying to get things done in a bipartisan way that does one thing, and that works for the best interests of all Georgians. So I want to personally thank y'all for your work last night and for how we're all trying to work together and how we are respecting one another. So I want to give you a round of applause. We are the Georgia House, and we do lead under this gold dome, last time I checked. Is that not correct? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this afternoon will be introduced by the gentleman from the very first House District, Representative Mike Cameron. Representative Cameron.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good afternoon, everybody. Isn't it good to sleep this morning late, like till 6:30, 6:45? Wasn't it good? I'm honored today to have Reverend Eddie Cantrell from Trenton First Baptist Church as our chaplain of the day. Pastor Eddie has been at Trenton First Baptist for almost 33 years. He's been married to his wife Teresa for 42 years. He has two children, Sarah and James. He has been the chaplain, and Dade County is kind of a small place, like 16,000, 17,000 people. And so he's had a chance to grow into the community. He's the chaplain for something called the Southeast Lineman School. We have a school in Dade County that trains people to climb poles and string line, and it's a big thing. They have hundreds and hundreds of people a year, and he's able to minister to those people. He also ministers to a lot of our young people in the basketball programs in Dade County for like 33 years. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll go ahead and here's Pastor Eddie Cantrell.
Come on, Pastor. Yes, say welcome. Glad to have you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Mike, and Mr. Speaker. Thank you for allowing me the time. I will try not to try your patience. I'll try to get on with it. I don't need to tell you that our country is in upheaval. I don't need to tell you that depending on what station you listen to or who you follow, that we can find an argument, a fuss, and a fight 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't need to tell you that we can find ways to divide rural, urban, Democrat, Republican, white, black. I don't need to tell you this. You know all this, but I want to remind you. It seems like we're constantly looking for a fight, and the more punches we throw, the louder and prouder our supporters seem to get. And the more divided the world becomes, and the battle lines are drawn real quickly, and they seem to never be crossed again. I asked myself this week, what can I do? What could I possibly say to you that you haven't heard before? Probably nothing, but here's my best shot at it. Abraham Lincoln said, "I don't like that man. I must get to know him better." In preparing this devotion for you, I realize I have nothing new, nothing dazzling to share. But I thought about Lincoln's lead, and I thought the best I could do would be try to get to know you a little better. Speaker Burns, I had no clue that you have a Juris Doctor degree. I don't even know what that is. I had to look it up. I didn't know that he was a Sunday school superintendent and Representative Jones of the 25th. I didn't know you had the same degree. Mr. Speaker, I read what I could about your family. I know you love them and you're proud of them. Minority Leader Beverly, I found it interesting that you were an optometrist. You and I would have a lot to talk about if we had more time. I began to dig into bios, and let me just say concerning your bios, some of you need a lot of work. It's hard to find a lot of stuff out about you, but I found some interesting stuff, and the more I found, the more I liked you. Representative Bennett from the 94th, a licensed doctor of physical therapy. Lord knows I need you. Representative Camp from the 135th either was or is a licensed EMT, same thing. Representative Davis from the 87th, I read that you had over 23 years of critical care nursing and work in that field. And you were a former commissioned officer in the U.S. Army and Airborne. Wow. They didn't have a clue, wouldn't have had a clue. Representative Evans of the 57th, I know that you have a law degree from UGA and you are an attorney. I read where Representative Anderson from the 10th was a deacon at his Baptist church. Representative Houston from the 170th was an active Methodist. Representative Bonner from the 73rd was a deacon and a youth leader. I read where Representative Carter of the 93rd has a master's degree in theology. I love what Representative Douglas of the 78th put in the bio. His proudest achievement was his family, his wife Veda, and his children Destiny and Demi. It caught my attention, Representative Park from 107, that you had grandparents who were refugees from the Korean War and that you moved to the U.S. to pursue the American dream. Wherever you are, I hope you're pursuing it and hope you found it. Representative We, I knew I'd mess it up, from the 50th, a Chinese American whose parents immigrated to the U.S. in the 60s. You know, the more I read about you and the more I got to know some of you, the more I realized I really didn't care if you were a D or an R. I really didn't care if you were male or female. I really didn't care what religion you were or what race you were. I began to love you as people who love this state and who have given your time away from your families and your pursuits to serve people like me. I realize you are people with different ideas, with different backgrounds, with different ways in which you think you can solve our problems, but I realize you're wonderful people who are doing your best to serve our state. My hope and prayer is that what you see in each other is the same thing that I see in you. Never forget that you are role models to the people of your district. And in our day and age today, we certainly need role models. Our children need them. Our grandchildren need them. In a world full of hatred and bullies and name-calling and violence, we need role models like never before. We need people to lead us in the right way. with kindness, with gentleness, with peacefulness, in a gracious way. We need people who know how to disagree agreeably. I love what the speaker said, and I hope that is the spirit in this room. Our children and our grandchildren need to see white and black and conservatives and liberals and youth and elderly and Christians and non-Christians alike join together and work together to better our state. Not always agreeing, but not judging, not demeaning, and not always suspicious of what someone thinks if they disagree with us. I am of the hippie generation. I see a few of you are too. Years ago, John Lennon wrote a song that was a defining song of our generation. The song was Imagine. And while I don't agree with all of his song, I understand the feeling behind the song. But imagine today that you're not a Democrat or a Republican, but you're first and foremost a human being. Just human beings looking at each other with different backgrounds, different points of view. Imagine just listening to each other with a desire to learn how someone else feels instead of trying to win an argument. Imagine what our state would become if we simply looked at each other believing that no one is trying to destroy our state. We only have different backgrounds and different lives, and we really want what's best for our state. Imagine if we prayed for each other a little more and talked poorly about each other a little less. Imagine if we took time to get to know each other. Now, these things are useless to dream about, and it's a waste of time to wish other people would do it. But you know what? I can start. You can start. When we were kids, we played this game. What superpower would you like to have? I always wanted to be able to read minds. I wonder what you thought. Rural, First District, hillbilly, Baptist preacher, First Baptist preacher, friend of Mike Cameron, say that loosely. You know, if you got to know me, you might be surprised. If I get to know you, I might be surprised. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that." It's time we work to turn on the lights. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, said, "I am the light of the world," and yet Jesus took time to know people, to listen to people, to help people. Jesus died for the sins of the world so that we might have life, we might have light, we might make a difference. But He didn't bully people. He just told them what they needed to do. My prayer for you is you will make a difference, and I know you are. My prayer for you is that you will be seen as role models, not simply for your race or your gender or your political party, but by everyone in your district. I will wrap this thing up by saying Jesus said to His followers, if you're a Christian, we would be known by how much we loved each other. We have blown it because we have allowed disagreements to get between us and the love of God. We are destroying our land with divisions. We're fighting over the silliest things. Our families are falling apart. Our churches are crumbling. And for most of government, there seems to be no credibility. The good news is you and I can make a difference. We can be seen as people who are different. Let's make a difference by our love, by our gentleness, by our desire to work for peace. Let's make a difference by reaching out to those who are hurting, lonely, abused, or depressed. Let's make a difference by praying for each other. If you want to get to know me, invite me to lunch. I'll try my best to come. If you will pay, I'll be there. You know how it is when a politician and a preacher eats. It's like, who's going to pay, right? My prayer for you is that God would bless your families, that God would protect you and give you peace in your life and peace with each other, that God would give you the wisdom to do what needs to be done and to move our state forward. My prayer for you is that God reveals Himself to you and to all of us like never before. May God bless you and thank you for this time. Let's pray. Father, we are so thankful for the men and the women in this room. We are thankful for them because they have given so much to serve this state. We thank you for their families. We thank you for their loved ones. And we pray that your peace would be upon them and your blessings would be upon them. We ask, Father, in the days to come, give the speaker and all of our leaders wisdom just to do the right things that will bring glory to you. Unite this house like never before and allow them to feel your presence and your power. And help us just to step back and recognize you for your love and mercy in all of our lives. And may we share that with one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you right here. Okay.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Members may greet the chaplain in the south anteroom and have a photo. Thank you, Pastor Cantrell. We appreciate that message, and we appreciate you trying to get to know us, and we look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you so much for being here today. Majority Leader Frustration, will you close that door to the anteroom, please? Thank you. Okay, members, we're ready to go. If I can have your attention, we need your attention. Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Mr. Chairman, I thought I had their attention. Just hold it a second. Please give the gentleman your attention. Chairman Tarvin is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And as we now have 11 days left after today, just a little something else to think about. Perfection is unattainable, but if we chase perfection, we will catch excellence.
We've got 11 days. Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal on the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? The Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there objection to the confirmation of the journal? The Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Illustration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 670 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, Glaze of the 67th, Clark of the 108th, and McLean of the 109th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2, Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to elections and primaries generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 671 by Representative Reeves and the 99th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th. The bill be titled an act to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from all City of Sugar Hill ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 672 by Representative Reeves and 99th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th. The bill be titled an act to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from all City of Sugar Hill ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 673 by Representative Reeves and 99th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th. The bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from the City of Sugar Hill ad valorem taxes for municipal purposes.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 674 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, and Petrie, the 166th. The bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 675 by Representative Williams, the 168th, and Deloach, the 167th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide a new charter for the City of Riceboro.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 676 by Representative Hagan in the 156th and Williams, the 148th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide for the compensation of the chairperson and members of the Board of Education of Ben Hill County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 677 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to post-secondary education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 678 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Neal of the 79th, Bernal of the 77th, Douglas the 78th, and Holly the 116th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Clayton County Board of Commissioners.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 679 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled an act to provide comprehensive state civil rights law protecting individuals from discrimination in housing.
Judiciary.
House Bill 680 by Representative Taylor of the 173rd. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide a new charter for the City of Thomasville.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 681 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Quitman County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 682 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Seminole County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 683 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the magistrate court of Seminole County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 684 by Representative Davis, the 87th, Mitchell, the 88th, Schofield, the 63rd, Cannon of the 58th, Scott of the 76th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to health.
Public and Community Health.
House Bill 685 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the magistrate court of Early County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 686 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Early County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 687 by Representative McDonald of the 26th, Jones of the 25th, Cox of the 28th, Jaspers of the 11th, Clark of the 100th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to change or removal of county site.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 688 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the magistrate court of Miller County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 689 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Miller County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 690 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the magistrate court of Baker County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 691 by Representative Green in the 154th, a bill being titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Baker County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 692 by Representative Mitchell, the 88th, bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 4286 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to special license plates.
Motor
House
vehicles.
Bill 693 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, a bill being titled an act to amend an act providing for the Board of Commissioners for the County of Elbert.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 694 by Representative Mitchell, the 88th, Moore, the 91st, Crawford, the 84th, Kendrick, the 95th, Bennett, the 94th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend an act providing for the compensation of certain county officers and officials in DeKalb County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Resolution 411 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, Glaze, the 67th, Clark, the 108th, McLean, the 109th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution.
Governmental affairs.
House Resolution 412 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, LaHood of the 175th, Burchett of the 176th, Houston of the 170th, Kelly of the 16th, and others. A resolution recognizing the Honorable Calvin Ellis Black and dedicating a road in his honor.
Transportation.
House Resolution 413 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution.
Rules.
House Resolution 414 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Meeks of the 178th, Saints of the 180th, Ridley the 6th, Burchett of the 176th. A resolution recognize Mr. Caleb Driggers and dedicating a road in his honor.
Transportation.
Senate Bill 4 by Senator Davenport of the 44th.
Clerk will suspend. We're assigning those guys across the hall. I think they're in the Senate. They sent us a few bills over here, and we're assigning them to committees. So some of you may want to hear. Those of you just want to speak. I can see that ante room is empty. So please take your conversations to the ante room. Some of us want to hear. Mr. Clerk, if you will continue.
Senate Bill 4 by Senator Davenport of the 44th, Sims of the 12th, Tate of the 38th, Butler of the 55th, Harbison of the 15th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20, the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to educational programs in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
Senate Bill 20 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Watson of the 1st, Hufstedler of the 52nd, Tillery the 19th, Butler of the 55th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 20E of Title 33, the Official Code of Georgia annotated, the Surprise Billing Consumer Protection Act.
Insurance.
Senate Bill 31 by Senator Beach of the 21st, Donizal of the 27th, Gooch of the 51st, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Hatchett of the 50th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 18 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the general provisions relative to prosecuting attorneys.
Judiciary non-civil.
Senate Bill 35 by Senator Merritt of the 9th, Jones of the 22nd, Butler of the 55th, Harbison of the 15th, Parrott of the 42nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 4286 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to special license plates.
Motor vehicles.
Senate Bill 45 by Senator Anna Duarte of the 31st, Dixon of the 45th, Albers of the 56th, Sill of the 48th, Hickman of the 4th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to health of students in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
Senate Bill 64 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Hatchett of the 50th, Tillery of the 19th, Dugan of the 30th, Anderson of the 24th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 31, 10, 14 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the issuance of a new birth certificate.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 66 by Senator Hickman of the 4th, Hodges of the 3rd, Kennedy of the 18th, Gooch of the 51st, Tillery of the 19th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 15, 6, 2 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the number of judges of superior courts.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 74 by Senator Tillery of the 19th, Brass of the 28th, Hatchett of the 50th, Dugan of the 30th, Still of the 48th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Titles 10, 15, and 51 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to commerce and trade.
Judiciary,
Senate Bill 76 by Senator Merritt of the 9th, Lucas the 26th, Harbison the 15th, Butler the 55th, Islam of the 7th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 18 and Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to state employees' health insurance plans.
Health,
Senate Bill 91 by Senator Dixon the 45th, Kennedy the 18th, Hodges the 3rd, Huffstetler the 52nd, Hickman the 4th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to workers' compensation.
Industry and Trade,
Senate Bill 95 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Hatchett of the 50th, Hodges the 3rd, Still of the 48th, Moore of the 53rd, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 12, 8, 37.1 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to state grants.
Natural Resources and Environment,
Senate Bill 97 by Senator Anna Navarte of the 31st, Alpers the 56th, Dugan of the 30th, Gooch of the 51st, Robertson of the 29th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 3, Title 38 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to emergency management.
Public Safety and Homeland Security,
Senate Bill 103 by Senator Goodman of the 8th, Burns of the 23rd, Anderson of the 24th, Merritt of the 9th, Anderson of the 43rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 12 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to disposition of unclaimed property.
Judiciary,
Senate Bill 115 by Senator McLaurin of the 15th, Dugan of the 30th, Kennedy of the 18th, Moore of the 53rd, Donzello of the 27th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 3 of Chapter 2, Title 38 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to rights, privileges, and prohibitions.
Defense and Veterans Affairs,
Senate Bill 127 by Senator Hickman of the 4th. A bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 13 and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to excise tax on rooms and lodging.
Ways and Means,
Senate Bill 136 by Senator Dugan of the 30th, Walker of the 20th, Huffstetler of the 52nd, Jones of the 10th, Dixon of the 45th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 3671-4 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to calculation of development impact fees.
Governmental Affairs,
Senate Bill 137 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, Strickland of the 17th, Williams of the 25th, Anna DeVarte of the 31st, and Orrock of the 36th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 23-411 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to definitions regarding tuition equalization grants.
Higher Education,
Senate Bill 138 by Senator Williams, the 25th, Robertson, the 29th, Hatchett, the 50th, Beach, the 21st, Anderson, the 24th, and others. To be entitled an act to amend Code Section 15, 16, 8, and 45, 5, 6 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to how vacancies are filled.
Public Safety and Homeland Security,
Senate Bill 140 by Senator Summers, the 13th, Watson, the 1st, Kirkpatrick, the 32nd, Kennedy, the 18th, Anderson, the 24th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 7 and Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to regulation of hospitals.
Public and Community Health,
Senate Bill 144 by Senator Islam of the 7th, Dugan of the 30th, Payne of the 54th, Anna DeVarte of the 31st, Anderson the 43rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 38-151 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to adjunct general duties and records.
Defense and Veterans Affairs,
Senate Bill 146 by Senator Gooch, the 51st, Cowser, the 46th, Walker, the 20th, Lucas, the 26th, Anna DeVarte, the 31st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 2, Title 46, Chapter 1, and Title 10, and Article 1 of Chapter 9 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to jurisdiction and powers and duties of the Georgia Public Service Commission.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation,
Senate Bill 155 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Albers of the 56th, Robertson of the 29th, Strickland of the 17th, Still of the 48th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 4, Chapter 11, and Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to dangerous instrumentalities and practices.
Public Safety and Homeland Security,
Senate Bill 158 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Harbin of the 16th, Dugan of the 30th, Walker of the 20th, Dixon of the 45th. Bill be entitled an act to amend Chapter 32 and Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to property insurance.
Insurance,
Senate Bill 160 by Senator Still of the 48th, Huffstetler of the 52nd, Robertson of the 29th, Kennedy of the 18th, Gooch of the 51st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to labor and industrial relations.
Industry and Labor,
Senate Bill 164 by Senator Huffstetler of the 52nd, Donzello of the 27th, Brass the 28th, Walker the 20th, Summers the 13th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 26 and Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to nurses.
Health.
Senate Bill 168 by Senator Williams the 25th, Summers the 13th, Still the 48th, Eccles the 49th, Harbin the 16th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 8 of Article 8 of Chapter 14 and Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to liens of hospitals and nursing homes.
The Judiciary.
Senate Bill 177 by Senator Jones the 22nd, Goodman the 8th, Butler the 55th, Hickman the 4th, Sims the 12th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 2 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to agriculture.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
Senate Bill 193 by Senator Gucci the 51st, Anna Duarte the 31st, Kennedy the 18th, Cowser the 46th, Summers the 13th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 40 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to promotion and deployment of broadband services.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
Senate Bill 195 by Senator Walker the 20th, Dugan the 30th, Kirkpatrick the 32nd, Guinea the 47th, Harbison the 15th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to professions and businesses.
Regulated Industries.
Senate Bill 197 by Senator Hufstetler the 52nd, Watson the 1st, Butler the 55th, Kirkpatrick the 32nd, Kennedy the 18th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to professions and businesses.
Health.
Senate Bill 199 by Senator Estevez the 6th, Hufstetler the 52nd, Goodman the 8th, Butler the 55th, Perrin the 42nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 18 of Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to State Employee Benefit Plan Council.
Health.
Senate Bill 203 by Senator Anna Duarte the 31st, Kennedy the 18th, Gooch the 51st, Robertson the 29th, Donizell the 27th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 4, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to industry services training programs.
Defense and Veteran Affairs.
Senate Bill 204 by Senator Donizell the 27th, Beach the 21st, Gooch the 51st, Kennedy the 18th, Anna Duarte the 31st, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 14 and Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education accountability.
Education.
Senate Bill 211 by Senator Hickman of the 4th, Dixon of the 45th, Kennedy the 18th, Gooch the 51st, Anna Duarte the 31st, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Education.
Senate Bill 213 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, Goodman of the 8th, Payne of the 54th, Watson of the 11th, Dixon of the 45th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 66 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to zoning procedures.
Governmental Affairs.
Senate Bill 217 by Senator Albers the 56th, Robertson the 29th, Dugan of the 30th, Strickland of the 17th, Kennedy the 18th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to registration and licensing of motor vehicles.
Motor Vehicles.
Senate Bill 218 by Senator Redd of the 33rd, Albers the 56th, Jones of the 22nd, Robertson of the 29th, Say of the 34th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to identification cards for persons without driver's licenses.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
Senate Bill 220 by Senator Goodman of the 8th, Watson of the 11th, Anderson of the 24th, Walker of the 20th, Sims of the 12th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 10 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to historic preservation.
Ways and Means. Mr. Clerk, will you suspend just for a moment? Members, we're going to suspend on first readers just for a moment. We have some guests here that have another appointment that is very critical on keeping their day on schedule. So at this time, I'm going to ask the clerk to read a resolution.
House Resolution 159 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Gunther of the 8th, Cox of the 28th, McDonald of the 26th, Baird of the 24th, and others. A resolution recognizing and commending the University of North Georgia upon its 150th anniversary.
I hope you all pay attention to this. One of our leading universities in our state has been very special to this House and our state over the years. To present a special resolution, Representative Will Wade will present House Resolution 159.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. It is an exciting day to present to you the leadership of the University of North Georgia, my alma mater. They are celebrating their sesquicentennial celebration, the 150th, and we are thankful. They do have at 2 o'clock, you'll remember, at Liberty Plaza, a Choral Cadet review, so they have but a moment to celebrate, but I appreciate you recognizing them. And I'd also like to point out to this body that 2 of Georgia's speakers, Speaker David Ralston as well as Speaker Tom Murphy, are both proud alumnus, and we recognize their efforts in leadership. And I'm thankful for our guests, President Dr. Bonita Jacobs, Dr. Shadron Gill, Cadet Colonel Warren Walker had to go ahead and head on over, but we're thankful to have student Anna Moeller, who is the SGA president, and last but certainly not least, my friend, the Commandant, Colonel Joseph Matthews. If you'll join me in recognizing them and the 150th of the University of North Georgia. She would like to make one brief comment. And I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Jacobs. She has announced her retirement, and I'm personally thankful for all that she's done, and she'd like to just share 1 or 2 words with you before they have to head over to Liberty Plaza. Dr. Jacobs.
But I will be there until the end of June, so there's still work to be done. The University of North Georgia opened its doors in January 1873 as the North Georgia Agricultural College, becoming the 2nd public university in Georgia. Our sesquicentennial, and I'm asked often, what does that mean? It means 150-year celebration, gives us a special opportunity to reflect on our heritage, to celebrate our achievements, and to look forward to our future. In 1873, I doubt that our founders could have imagined we would be offering degrees in criminal justice, cybersecurity, or nursing. But they knew then, as we know now, the value of college education and its role in strengthening communities and in creating economic prosperity and career opportunities. Universities are special places where students learn to think critically and to explore opportunities, where knowledge is created and advanced, where a sense of belonging and shared experiences build lifelong relationships. At UNG in particular, students also learn to both serve and lead others. For 150 years, we have produced civic, professional, and military leaders who made a positive impact on their communities and beyond, including, as mentioned, Speakers Tom Murphy and David Ralston. Military education has been a signature part of the university's mission since the beginning. As one of only 6 federally designated senior military colleges in the nation, along with Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, Citadel, VMI, and Norwich. We are the Military College of Georgia, and we have proudly produced more than 60 general officers who have served Georgia and the nation. With distinctions like being named a national top producer of Fulbright students for our 6th consecutive year, our reputation for academic excellence, student success, and value continues to grow. Today, we have campuses in Blue Ridge, Dahlonega, Gainesville, Oconee County, as well as online. UNG serves now more than 18,000 students who represent nearly every county in Georgia. I believe this year it's every county but 4. From 46 states and territories, as well as from 87 countries. Our future is bright, and we are tremendously grateful to you as student leaders, state leaders. Little slip there, I've been around students a lot. But we do appreciate you, and I understand how hard you work. And I know sometimes you leave at very early hours to get here, and you are greatly, greatly appreciated. And I know you do it for the betterment of our institutions and for the state of Georgia. I do invite you to attend a special military review with a select contingent of our Corps of Cadets this afternoon at 2 p.m. at Liberty Plaza, where Governor Kemp will serve as the reviewing officer. Again, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Madam President, congratulations on your years of service, and I know you're looking forward to retirement. But I'm sure you'll find a job somewhere that somebody wants to keep you engaged, no doubt. Thank you, and congratulations to this great university. Mr. Clerk, recognized to continue.
Senate Bill 220 by Senator Goodman of the 8th, Watson of the 11th, Anderson of the 24th, Walker the 20th, Sims the 12th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 and Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to historic preservation.
Ways and Means.
Senate Bill 223 by Senator Watson of the 1st, Tillery the 19th, Brass the 28th, Huff-Stetler the 52nd, Robertson the 29th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding health.
Health.
Senate Bill 230 by Senator Brass the 28th, Eccles the 49th, Gooch the 51st, Summers the 13th, Robertson the 29th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 and Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to programs and protections for children.
Juvenile Justice.
Senate Bill 231 by Senator Burns the 23rd, Anderson the 24th. The bill be titled an act to amend the act providing for the consolidation of Richmond County and the city of Augusta.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
Senate Bill 233 by Senator Donzello the 27th, Brass the 28th, Still of the 48th, Moore the 53rd, Setzler the 37th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Education.
Senate Bill 237 by Senator Hatchett of the 50th, Hodges of the 3rd. A bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 7 of Chapter 3 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Georgia Student Finance Authority.
Higher Education.
Senate Bill 240 by Senator Walker the 20th, Robertson the 29th, and Tillery the 19th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to retirement and pensions.
Retirement.
Senate Bill 246 by Senator Hodges the 3rd, Watson of the 1st, Hatchett of the 50th, Kennedy the 18th, Tillery the 19th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 and Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Georgia Board of Health Care Workforce.
Higher Education.
Senate Bill 254 by Senator Brass the 28th. A bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Banks and Banking.
Senate Bill 259 by Senator Hatchett of the 50th, Kennedy the 18th, Gooch of the 51st, Brass of the 28th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding the superior courts.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 266 by Senator Harbin of the 16th, Dixon of the 45th, Sessler of the 37th, Goodman of the 8th, Williams of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to retirement and pensions.
Retirement.
Senate Bill 272 by Senator Kennedy the 18th, Tillery the 19th, Strickland of the 17th, Hatchett of the 50th, Butler of the 55th, and others. Bill be titled an act to Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to courts.
Judiciary non-civil.
Senate Resolution 214 by Senator Ginn of the 47th, Stills of the 48th, Robertson of the 29th, Kennedy of the 18th, Williams of the 25th, and others. A resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on Local Option Sales Taxes and Service Delivery Strategies.
Ways and Means.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 662 by Representative Bruce of the 61st, Miller of the 62nd, Panich of the 51st, Olalier of the 59th, Jones of the 60th, and others. A bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Probate Court of Fulton County. House Bill 663 by Representative Hatchett of the 155th, Smith of the 138th, Perkle of the 169th, Jones of the 25th, Taylor of the 173rd. A bill relating to regulation, construction of hospitals, and other healthcare facilities. House Bill 664 by Representative Stevens of the 164th. A bill relating to credible service in the Employees Retirement System of Georgia for prior service as members of the Georgia Defined Contribution Act. House Bill 665 by Representative Glaze of the 67th, Bruce of the 61st, Barnes of the 86th, Okoye of the 102nd, Thomas of the 65th. Bill relating to general provisions applicable to counties, municipal corporations, other governmental entities. House Bill 666 by Representative Jenkins of the 136th, a bill to provide a new charter for the town of Lone Oak. House Bill 667 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, Guffield of the 63rd, a bill relating to general provisions of wells and drinking water. House Bill 668 by Representative Olalier of the 59th, Glaze of the 67th, Green of the 154th, Scott of the 76th, Hughley of the 141st, and others. A bill relating to the Equality Basic Education Act. House Bill 669 by Representative Smith of the 18th, a bill relating to commerce and trade. House Resolution 399 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Daniel of the 117th, Douglas of the 78th, Holly of the 116th, Mathiak of the 74th, and others. Resolution honoring the life of our Officer Parhams Desai and dedicating a road in his memory. Senate Bill 55 by Senator Parent of the 42nd, Butler of the 55th, Lucas of the 26th, Harrell of the 40th, Kennedy of the 18th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to counties, municipal corporations, other governmental entities. Senate Bill 62 by Senator Summers of the 13th, Robertson of the 29th, Tillery of the 19th, Duggan of the 30th, Gann of the 47th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions applicable to counties and municipal corporations. Senate Bill 92 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Kennedy of the 18th, Walker of the 3rd of the 20th, Couchard of the 46th, Brass of the 28th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions regarding prosecuting attorneys. Senate Bill 106 by Senator Walker the 3rd of the 20th, Kennedy of the 18th, Gooch of the 51st, Robertson of the 29th, Anavarte of the 31st, and others. A bill relating to medical assistance. Senate Bill 109 by Senator Eccles of the 49th, Walker the 3rd of the 20th, Gooch of the 51st, Kennedy of the 18th, Watson of the 1st, and others. A bill relating to medical assistance. Senate Bill 132 by Senator Beach of the 21st, Dolezal of the 27th, Goodman of the 8th, Summers of the 13th, Anderson of the 24th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to agriculture. Senate Bill 148 by Senator Kennedy of the 18th, Strickland of the 17th, Gooch of the 51st, Robertson of the 29th, Anavarte of the 31st, and others. A bill relating to nonprofit corporations. Senate Bill 157 by Senator Strickland of the 17th, Goodman of the 8th, Robertson of the 29th, Anderson of the 43rd, Jones of the 10th. A bill relating to education, food, drugs, and cosmetics, health, insurance, and professions and businesses. Senate Bill 181 by Senator Payne of the 54th, Kennedy of the 18th, Butler of the 55th, Duggan of the 30th, and Islam of the 7th. A bill relating to the Georgia Technology Authority. Senate Bill 215 by Senator Brass of the 28th, Red of the 33rd, Walker 3rd of the 20th, Robertson of the 29th, Estevez of the 6th, and others. A bill relating to inspection of public records. Senate Bill 222 by Senator Burns of the 23rd, Watson of the 11th, Payne of the 54th, Dixon of the 45th, Gann of the 47th, and others. A bill relating to primaries and elections. 3 second readers.
We're going to move on to morning orders, but first we're going to do the Doctor of the Day. Chairman Buddy DeLoach is recognized to join me and introduce our Doctor of the Day. Chairman DeLoach.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's a privilege to introduce our Doctor of the Day today. I've done a lot of things in my 40-some-odd years in politics, but I've never tried to be Lisa Hagen, but I'm going to do that today in her absence and introducing the doctor. My seatmate told me I'd be a miserable failure at being Lisa. Dr. Spence received his bachelor in biology from Emory University in Atlanta. Following his undergraduate studies, Dr. Spence attended Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas, where he received his master's in biology, focusing on immune system biology. After completing his graduate studies, he received his Doctor of Medicine from Sabre University of Medicine in the Netherlands Antilles. Dr. Spence is board certified in family medicine. He practices wound care and hyperbaric medicine, as well as regenerative medicine. Dr. Spence is the medical director of Memorial Health Matters Wound Care Center, where he treats and cares for patients in the surrounding area in Vidalia. In addition to his passion for wound care, he has established Regenerative Medicine Associates, a regenerative medicine practice in the heart of Vidalia. He specializes in metabolic optimization for patients seeking longevity and a more youthful life. And I told him this morning that I probably need to visit him. At the beginning of his career, Dr. Spence spent 8 years as an attending emergency room physician. Dr. Spence and his wife Ursula reside in Vidalia, where they enjoy the beauty of small-town living and several rescue animals. Dr. Spence.
Oh, just quickly, thank you all very much for making Georgia a great state to practice medicine and to be able to do what we were trained to do. Thank you.
Dr. Spence, we certainly appreciate you being here. And I think Representative Loach has already been to see you. He's such a young man, so vibrant. So we appreciate your efforts in rural Georgia, and especially appreciate you being here taking care of us today. Members, if we can have your attention, please. Chairman Chokas and guest. We have another special resolution. I think you should pay attention to this one. I know you should. I met this wonderful individual earlier today, but without further ado, I'll let the proper introduction occur, and I'll recognize Chairman Mike Chokas. Chairman Mike Chokas for purposes of introduction and information. Chairman Chokas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the only reason I was asked to do this introduction is because I'm the only one that can pronounce the Greek names. Oh, someone was paying attention. That's great. Anyway, just a few short weeks from now, Greece will celebrate its 202nd Independence Day celebration on March 25th, 2003. 202 years of independence from the oppressive Ottoman Muslim Turkish Empire. Greatly outnumbered with limited resources, but with a love of country and democracy, the people of Greece endured years of struggle and hardship to overcome the enslavement of the Turkish Empire. The people of Greece were inspired by the American Revolution and have been strong allies with the United States in every major conflict. As a matter of fact, the first victories of the Second World War were by the Greek Greek armed forces against the fascist armies of Mussolini. Winston Churchill once said, "Heroes fight like the Greeks." The relationship between the United States and Greece is stronger than ever and is demonstrated by the signing of the Mutual Defense and Cooperation Agreement. And with that in mind, it is indeed a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege for me to introduce Alexandra Papadopoulou, the ambassador of Greece to the United States. And I'll just say a word or two about her. She was appointed ambassador to Greece in February of 2019. Prior to that, she served as the head of the diplomatic candidate for the Greek Prime Minister and permanent representative of Greece in the EU. And I could keep going and on about the accolades that she's accomplished, but I want to share that she holds a law degree from the University of Athens, and no, sir, it's not Go Dogs, Athens, Greece, and a master's degree in international relations and international law from the University of Pennsylvania, and she is a Fulbright scholar. So I got to meet Mrs. Papadopoulou just a few minutes ago, and we've had a wonderful, wonderful time catching up, talking, and sharing. So please join me in welcoming the first female ambassador of Greece to the United States. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chokas, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but everybody pronounces my name right here in the Senate and now in the House of Representatives, because either because you have Athens here, so you know, or because you did a very good job educating everybody. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, it is an immense honor and pleasure for me to address the legislature of the state of Georgia and bring to the representatives of the people of Georgia the warmest greetings of the legislature of Hellenic Republic and the Greek people. Greece and the United States share a long history of common fights in defense of the values and principles both our peoples hold dear and precious. Democracy, rule of law, human rights, and the respect of the individual are the cornerstone on which both our countries were built. Both our countries and peoples respect and adhere to them, and we both work together for their safeguarding and promotion through our shared participation in NATO and also our very strong bilateral military and political partnership. Many Americans of Greek descent live in the state of Georgia, a state who provided them with a fertile environment to live and prosper and eventually contribute to the well-being of this great state. These Americans of Greek descent form a unique, unbreakable bond between your state and my country, and for all that you provided to them, for our strong partnership, and the fact that our two peoples feel so close together and share the same values, we're grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You've been so kind to me. Thank you, my country.
We're going to step over to the mic and take a photo, but I'm going to say something first.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll tell y'all, after spending a little time with the Madam Ambassador this morning, it's very clear to me of the shared values we have with the Greek people over our history, and what a wonderful lady and what a wonderful representative from the country of Greece that she is. And I hope all of you will take an opportunity to meet her in the South Ante Room. A wonderful lady, and again, a wonderful citizen of the country of Greece, and could not envision a better ambassador from your country to our country. And thank you for what we share together. Thank you so much for being with us. Members, thank you for your attention. What a special visitor, several special visitors we've had this morning. We do appreciate it. We're going to move on to morning orders. Representative Bentley is recognized for a morning order.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. Good afternoon. Today is Electric Vehicle Day at the State Capitol along with Bluebird Body Company. And let me tell you a little about Bluebird Body Company. As Bluebird Body Company is proudly represented by Representative Chairman Dickey and myself, and it is a 95-year-old Georgia company. Bluebird wishes to thank everyone in this chamber for your service to our great state. Bluebird Body Company was founded in Fort Valley, Georgia in 1927, and they continue to manufacture today and maintain their corporate headquarters in Macon, Georgia, the home of Leader Beverly. There are nearly 200,000 Bluebird buses in operation, making Bluebird Body Company the only U.S.-owned and operated school bus manufacturing company in the country. So, colleagues, if you will, please stand and join me in just giving a big round of applause to Bluebird Body Company for what they're doing, providing busing services to all of the students and schools across the state of Georgia. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Bluebird buses are wonderful. There's no doubt about that. We're going to move right on to afternoon orders. Representative Scott is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Scott. We'll hold, there she comes. Take your time. Kind of surprised you on that. Representative Sandra Scott is recognized for an afternoon order. She will be joined by some friends, I believe. Representative Scott.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we honored the female veterans of Georgia with a breakfast. This is our 7th year honoring female veterans in Georgia. Let me just say, we have 96,000 female veterans in Georgia. 96,000 female veterans in Georgia. And it was an honor to see so many female veterans come out this morning to have a great breakfast and to just talk about the issues that deal with women veterans in Georgia. So I would just like to say that Representative Viola Davis and Representative Lynn Gladney, they are also veterans, and we were honored today to honor our female veterans in Georgia. Thank you.
Before we complete our afternoon orders, for many of you in this room, you serve with the gentleman to my right. For those of you who don't know him, let me tell you who he is. Former State Representative Ellis Black, who went on over to the dark side and helped improve the Senate for a number of years. But our dear friend from down in Lowndes County, Representative Ellis Black. Let's give former member a great welcome, y'all. Representative Lim is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am proud to announce that thanks significantly to the work of this body, our state's law enforcement will better be able to do outreach and respond to the needs of our state's diverse, multicultural, multilingual communities. The Georgia Public Safety Training Center has now released the course called Cultural Adeptness in Law Enforcement, which has been designated a Governor's Initiative course and will qualify towards the minimum 2 hours of community policing that Georgia peace officers must complete annually. This course started to develop almost 2 years ago in the wake of the Atlanta spa shootings and the attention it brought to how our law enforcement interact with various communities. I'm very privileged to have spearheaded this development of this course, working with experts of in various communities. Particularly want to thank Belisa Urbina for co-heading this with me, as well as GPSTC, Georgia Post, and the Georgia Chiefs for being so willing to work with us. Thank you, colleagues.
That completes our afternoon orders. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Congratulating our Armuchee High School Lady Indians for winning the 2022-2023 GHSA Class A Cheerleading State Championship. Congratulating the Forest City Juniors of the Forest City Gun Club for winning the 2022 Scholastic Clay Target Program National Championship. Honoring and celebrating the 100th birthday of Mrs. Lectura Marie Thedcraft Shorter. Congratulating the Armuchee High School Indians for winning the 2022 GHSA Class A Division I Cross Country State Championship. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. We'll move on to announcements. Chairman Parsons. Chairman Dickey's going to step in for Chairman Parsons. Chairman Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had a conflict. We do have a Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications committee meeting this afternoon at 3 o'clock, Capitol 403.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Leverett, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just want to remind everybody tomorrow there is the Council of Municipal Court Judges Breakfast and Legislative Day at the Capitol. It'll be in room 230 of the State Capitol from 10:30 to 12. I think they'll have some treats for you in there. I think they'll have a little breakfast or a lunch, so please encourage everybody to go by and say hello to your municipal court judges. We've had some legislation move through the House in the last year or two to try to help them out, so I know they'd like to tell you thank you and get to know you a little better. So please try to remember that tomorrow between 10:30 and 12 in room 230 at the State Capitol. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Jasmine Clark is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Policy Committee, the Democratic House Policy Committee, will meet today upon adjournment, CLOB 605. Also, check your emails for, we will be having a hearing on education tomorrow, 2:30 CAP at 2 o'clock p.m. Thanks.
Chairman John Carson, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a reminder, House Retirement Committee upon adjournment in 406 CLOB, 406 CLOB. See you there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Appreciate you working. Chairman Dickey, I guess he got both of those announcements. Y'all may want to listen to this one. Oh, he still has an announcement. Another committee. Wow, how many? You got a bunch of them. Chairman Dickey is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of Agriculture Consumer Affairs Committee, we will have committee meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock, 606 CLOB. Thank you.
I've been waiting all day for this one. Chairman Hatchett is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Appropriations Committee subcommittees will begin meeting at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning in room 341. The full committee will meet at 8:30 tomorrow morning, 341. We will be taking up the FY24 budget, HB 19.
Mr. Chairman, did you say 7 a.m.?
Unfortunately, that is what I did say, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. I'll see you a little later. We have a couple of birthdays that we need to recognize today. I know one of the folks celebrating is not here. Representative David Jenkins, are you here? Representative David Jenkins. He's not here. But we're going to say, we have one more. But she's all celebrating as well, celebrating her birthday. Representative Mary Margaret Oliver, both great members have a birthday. Let's give them a round of applause. We have a group of pages here, so if you have a page, we want you to come up and we'll get a photo here when we adjourn in just a moment. If there's no further business to come before us, we're going to recognize the majority leader of this House for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, March 8th, 2023.
On the motion of the majority leader that this House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, March the 8th, 2023. All of those in favor will say aye. Boy, that was weak. All those opposed will say no. Well, we might stay. No, I think the ayes have it on second thought. We are adjourned.